Okay, now I will start today Dhamma talk. Today, actually, recently, someone asked me how to enter to this practice of the path, and because we always talk about what is right view and what is wrong view, and then it leads to, when you are practicing right view, it leads to for having an intention to practice the path. So some people have a doubt or not clear how we should start practicing this path. So recently, few people asked this question from me. So Lord Buddha has clearly talked about these things, and if you generally analyze the Noble Eightfold Path, one can easily see the first factor of Noble Eightfold Path is right view. So Lord Buddha say this Noble Eightfold Path is the thing what one should practice. Bhavetabbanti me, pubbe ananusutesdam. This is the thing we have to use and practice in our day-to-day life. So the first factor of Noble Eightfold Path is right view. So then we have first start practicing the right view. So the only thing we have to keep in mind, we learn right view. Most of the Buddhists who learn Buddhism know what is right view and what is wrong view. But they don't see that their day-to-day activities are already conditioned by wrong view. So if you should, when you carefully examine what is going on within ourselves, so then we can gradually understand this mind, the actions of mind always based on delusion, not understanding the reality. That the cause of actions are now we react on objects totally based on our past intentions, past way of doing it, how we did it past, or how we dealt with past with each and every object. That kind of conditioning, that means that is called karma, is always support to the present moment consciousnesses. That therefore the feelings, perceptions, volitions arise based on your past experiences, past karma. So that's why it is important to keep in mind that all your past actions are mostly based on delusion. Even though you are doing some good things, good actions, wholesome actions, but mostly based on delusion. That means all these actions are based on self, I, me, myself based actions. These are not the actions based on amoha, the non-delusion. So that's why it is important to keep in mind this reality within us. So therefore we have to train our mind to use the non-delusion in our day-to-day life, and as much as we can. Then we can develop the action based on right intentions. That means the verbal actions, bodily actions, and livelihood. We can update based on right view, or change all past way of dealing things, and you can develop a new way of dealing with things. So this is an important thing to keep in mind. So that's why it is important. That's why this right view come as the first factor of Noble Eightfold Path. So, therefore, you have to first practice the right view. So, you should use this right view in your day-to-day life. So, how do you take it? How do you practice right view? So, basically, you should remind yourself the reality of your eye, ear, nose, tongue and body, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. The impermanent nature of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. And all objects come to your six senses are also impermanent. That is, sights, sounds, smells, tastes and touches and thoughts come to your mind, also impermanent, subject to change and become otherwise. So that is the nature, that is a reality. So if you carefully watch your mind, you can understand this reality. Or if you already know, you can accept it with the faith and bring it to your day-to-day life and use that view when you are dealing with objects or living in this world. So then it will change the way you deal with objects in your day-to-day life. So that is an important thing. So then you build up the right intentions. You abandon the wrong intentions. The second factor of Noble Eightfold Path start growing. So another way of doing it, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, and sight, sound, smells, tastes, and touches and thoughts are internal faculties and external faculties. Both are impermanent, subject to change, and tends to become something else and ultimately get vanished. So this is a reality you have to remind yourself all the time. So then, therefore, it will destroy the room for having the anger, hatred and craving, strong craving will diminish, because if you think things as impermanent, so you have the ability to let go things, release, not strongly hold on things. So that is one thing. The second thing, so you can consider all forms come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind as forms. When these forms come to your mind, feelings, perceptions, volitions arise. That is the process of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. It is the product of the process of this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. So these are called name. So this part of the name also impermanent, subject to change and vanish, and change to something else. Your perceptions change, your volitions change, your feelings change regarding even one object. Depending on when causes and conditions change, the feelings arise in your mind change regarding the same object sometimes. Or sometimes the external object change, therefore your feelings, perceptions change. So either one or the other ways, your feelings, perceptions, volitions and your consciousness change basically. So therefore none of these things are permanent. So if you remind yourself all the time, so your way of interacting with external world and internal world both change, and you become a soft person, kind person, gentle person. So this the new way of dealing with objects arise in your heart. So then you cultivate, you develop, you abandon your coarse actions come from your body and mind. You refine those actions by replacing with the soft, kind, gentle actions. So this is the way how you enter to the path and practice the path. So it is go through step by step. When you start practicing right view, then the right intentions start arising in your mind. When the right intentions are arising in your mind, you see the wrong verbal actions, bodily actions, and wrong livelihood you are associating with. So you are having the intentions to abandon those wrong actions or unskillful actions. So because the right intentions. So you abandon the actions based on wrong intentions, the harming intentions, harming to other people, irritating other people, or anger-based intentions, hatred-based intentions, you see as wrong. It is those intentions based on wrong view. So once you have the right, once you are using the right view, right intentions arise, then the wrong intentions you abandon. So then you cultivate the right intentions. Therefore, the right verbal actions, bodily actions, you cultivate based on right intentions. So that is the way how it happens. So when you are practicing in this way, gradually your verbal actions, bodily actions, and livelihood get purified. And it is helpful when you sit for meditation. That is the sixth, seventh, and eighth factors of Noble Eightfold Path. You can easily accomplish, or you can develop through the path to the higher stages, because you are practicing the right view, and your day-to-day lives you are having a good good way of living or good behaviors. So you don't have much problems from the external world. So you are happy with your conduct and you are contented. So you can let go many things easily without working out. Because sometimes when you are attached to the world, or you are struggling with the world, so when you sit for meditation, your mind go through all your actions, the past actions. You want to correct things, you want to do things, you want to update things. So many doings come to your mind. But when you are develop the right intentions, when you develop the right view and right intentions, you can quickly abandon all unwanted stuff, this the worldly stuff, the five sense world stuff, and you can let go all five sense world objects, and you can liberate your mind from five sense world by practicing the seventh factor and eighth factor of Noble Eightfold Path. So that is how it works. So I will read a sutta from Samyutta Nikaya. So the connected discourses. Actually, this sutta come in the Samyutta. Lord Buddha explained, the Lord Buddha, there is a compilation of suttas, how Lord Buddha explained how to enter to the path. So this is the Samyutta Nikaya Okkanti Samyutta Chakku Vagga Chakku Sutta. This is I will tell the number of the sutta, so you can easily find out in Sutta Central, like thing. SN 25.1. SN 25.1 Chakku Sutta. Okay, now I will read this one. Samyutta Nikaya 25, Connected Discourses on Entering. The first sutta, the I. Actually, this Connected Discourses on Entering set have 10 suttas. So I will read the first one and the last one. So in the middle, I will tell you the what subject is on that suttas. So the first sutta is the I. At Savatthi, Lord Buddha addressed bhikkhus. Bhikkhus, the I is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The ear is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The nose is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The tongue is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The body is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The mind is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. So in the same way, in the second sutta say, the forms are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Sounds are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Orders are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Tastes are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Tactical objects are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Mental phenomena is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Then Lord Buddha say, one who places faith in these teachings and resolves on them, thus is called a faith follower. One who has entered the fixed course of rightness, entered the plane of superior persons, transcended the plane of the worldlings. He is incapable of doing any deed by reason of which he might be reborn in hell, in the animal realm, or in the domain of ghosts. He is incapable of passing away without having realized the fruit of stream entry. One for whom these teachings are accepted, thus after being pondered to a sufficient degree with wisdom, is called a Dhamma follower. One who has entered the fixed course of rightness, entered the plane of superior persons, transcend the plane of worldlings. He is incapable of doing any deed by reason of which he might be reborn in hell, in the animal realm, or in the domain of ghosts. He is incapable of passing away without having realized the fruit of stream entry. One who knows and sees these teachings thus is called a stream enterer, no longer bound to the neither world fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as his destination. So this is the first sutta. I read with the second sutta things also, because eye and form, ear and sounds, all these are internal, internal sense bases and external, the internal faculties and external faculties. Both are impermanent. If a person keep in mind and use that view as his own view and use it in your daily life and trust and faith keep on these things and practice with the faith and confidence. So that kind of a person abandon all the unwholesome thoughts. That means the harming thoughts, ill will, and sensuality. They let go, because this view make your mind soft and gentle, and see the wrongness of this, the wrong way of thinking. So that kind of person. So in the same way, Lord Buddha talk about the consciousness, contact, feeling, perception, volition, craving, and elements. Also take in the same way as impermanent. So the non-self also the same. When Lord Buddha showed us many suttas, if a person take things as impermanent, then it leads to then the people show who are going through this path, when they are associating with such people, they clearly show them these are non-self. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body is not belongs to I, me, myself. It is a natural phenomena. It is always run based on causes and conditions. It is not under your control. Even your thoughts are not belongs to you. You can't claim as yours. All these thoughts arise based on causes and conditions. Your past karma is also arisen based on causes and conditions in the past. So therefore you can't claim it as yours. So that's why the karma is helping, the past volitions is helping now, or entangled with the present moment phenomena. So that's why whatever feeling, perception arise in this moment is always based on your past intentions or past choices or past way of dealt with things. So that is how it works. So that's why Lord Buddha say, if you take this mental phenomena and all these bodily and mental phenomena in this way, so your mind gets softened. You start seeing things in a different perspective, and you start seeing the causes and conditions, not taking things as I, me, myself. Why these things arise within my mind, within my body. So then you see the causes and conditions, and then you get the chance to change things and let go things, and be soft and gentle and giving forgiveness to yourself and other people. When you are facing to unskillful actions of other people or your own unskillful actions, you become soft and gentle when you are facing or when you are dealing with those things, because you see it as a natural phenomena. So that's the difference. So that is the way how we practice the right view. When we are practicing the right view, so our minds become soft and gentle, kind, soft and gentle. So therefore our verbal actions, bodily actions become kind, soft and gentle. So I will read the 10th, the last, the sutta of that set, the Okkanti Samyutta. Okkanti Samyutta means the connected discourses of entering. This is the way how enter. Savatthi, Lord Buddha addressed bhikkhus. Form are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Feelings are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Perceptions are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Volitional formations are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Consciousnesses are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. One who places faith in these teachings and resolves on them thus is called a faith follower. One who has entered the fixed course of rightness, entered the plane of superior persons, transcended the plane of the worldlings. He is incapable of doing any deed by reason of which he might be reborn in hell, in the animal realm, or in the domain of ghosts. he is incapable of passing away without having realized the fruit of stream entry. One for whom these teachings are accepted thus after being pondered to a sufficient degree with wisdom is called a Dhamma follower. One who has entered the fixed course of rightness, entered the plane of superior persons, transcended the plane of the worldlings. He is incapable of doing any deed by reason of which he might be reborn in hell, in the animal realm, or in the domain of ghosts. He is incapable of passing away without having realized the fruit of stream entry. One who knows and sees these teachings thus is called a stream enterer, no longer bound to the neither world, fixed in destiny with enlightenment as his destination. So that is the 10th. So in both these ways, you are contemplating all forms, feelings, perceptions and volitions, and your consciousnesses are impermanent, and non-self. Non-self is another one, come in another set of suttas. So, and large number of suttas in Lord Buddha's teachings, Lord Buddha showed this one as a important the point to understand. Then your way of dealing with the internal world and external world change, because you see it is a natural phenomena. There is no self within this phenomena. So that is the 9:36. We have half an hour. Anyway, so I will read another small sutta. So that one also say this. So when a person want to develop to the higher states of this practice, definitely you have to practice as the first factor, as this right view. So I would like to show how Lord Buddha teach these things. This is also Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. See, this is Anguttara Nikaya, Chatukka Nipata, Arahatta Vagga. So I will tell the numbers according to the normal way of telling. The AN 6.6.77. Uttari Manusa Dhamma Sutta. This is Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. So I will read this one. Numbered Discourses 6. Number 8 Perfections. This is number 77 Sutta, Superhuman States. Bhikkhus, without having abandoned 6 things, one is incapable of realizing any superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. What 6? Muddle-mindedness, Mutta Sacham. That is, the Pali word is Mutta Sacham. So it is like the Mutta Sacham means having forgotten the reality. So having forgotten the reality, the truth of our body and mind. So Mutta Sacham, that is muddle-mindedness. Lack of clear comprehension, Asampajanya. So lack of clear comprehension. That means you are not aware of what is going on clearly. Not guarding the doors of the sense faculties. Indriyesu agutta dwaram. It is the Pali term. Not guarding the doors of the sense faculties. Lack of moderation in eating. Bhojane amattanyutam. The other one is Indriyesu agutta dwaram. This is Bhojane amattanyutam. lack of moderation in eating. The fifth one, duplicity or deceitfulness of fraudulent. Kuhanam, this is a Pali term. The sixth one is flattery, talkativeness. So, lapanam. So, these six, without abandoning these six, without having abandoned these six things, one is incapable of realizing any superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. Bhikkhus, having abandoned six things, one is capable of realizing a superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. What six? Muddle-mindedness. So that is mutta satcham. You have to abandon. Then lack of clear comprehension. You have to abandon. You have to develop the clear comprehension. Not guarding the doors of the sense faculties. So you have to guard your sense faculties. Lack of moderation in eating. So you have to develop the moderation in eating. Duplicity. So that is the deceitfulness and fraudulent behavior. So you have to abandon. So that's why Lord Buddha say in Vinaya, so if the students are following me, they never break even any rule which I impose them. They are not deceitful. They are not fraudulent behavior. So they are really following. They have the faith and confidence regarding their teacher. So that is important. So the fifth factor is flattery. The sixth factor is flattery. So that is the talkativeness and prattling. So that is lapanam. So these things we have to abandon. Having abandoned these six things, one is capable of realizing a superhuman distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. So that's why this we have to keep in mind. This path, the noble eightfold path, end with the superhuman, the knowledge and vision. So that's why Lord Buddha showed us a path culminating with samadhi, the stillness, or the higher states of mind. So these jhana states, without achieving jhana states, you can't come to the knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. So you never attain nibbana. So you get the momentum, you get the energy to do it once you are practicing the right view. So that's why right view is important. So that's why the first thing of this set of the factors, the first thing is the appaya mutta satcham. So without abandoning the forgotten reality, you have to keep in mind, you have to remind yourself the reality and use the knowledge of reality in your day-to-day life. Knowledge of truth, reality of this body and mind. So you have to use in your day-to-day life. Then your actions, your way of thinking, your verbal actions, bodily actions get purified by this right view. So these suttas you have to study and understand, and you have to get the right understanding. So then you are fall into the right path. So then you understand Dhamma in the right way. So if you have any questions, I can answer now. We have 15 minutes. No questions. Okay. So you have question, no? Okay. There's one question is coming behind.
Thank you, Bhante, for talking about right view.
Yes.
I want to know more about the right view, the impermanence of I, me, and myself. If you could explain further. Thank you.
Yes, most of the time we explain these things. The impermanence, actually, we had to see the impermanence of eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. The internal eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. These internal faculties. So, if we carefully reflect on our past, you can see how these things change. So the same object, when you are seeing an object, sometimes you think, oh, that is beautiful, nice. But after some time, you don't see any beauty in that one. You think something is better than that. You see the beauty, or you see the faults of the same objects, and you feel, it is not the beautiful. Much more beautiful things are available in some other places. So then your mind change. Your way of seeing, your eye change, because previously same eye gave the picture and give the feelings, perceptions. Oh, this is nice, this is beautiful. Now you don't see that beauty. What has happened to your eye? So the eye change, or sometimes the external object change. So if you take a flower, when it start blooming, it is beautiful. After some time, it get changed and start getting older, and the beauty start disappearing. The external objects also change. The internal your mind. Sometimes the external object, without even changing the external object, your mind change. So this the way of your eye and the external the sights change is you have to understand. There are two reasons to change the same sight. So the feelings, perceptions, and volitions. Because one time your eye change, one time the external thing change. So these are two different things. So therefore you understand the impermanence of your eye faculty. So in the same time you see the impermanence of the external sights. In the same way, your ear and sounds also have the similar way of seeing things. Sometimes you hear some sounds as very delightful and nice, but sometimes you think, it is a disturbance. You don't need it. You want to stop hearing those things. Sometimes you want to hear it. You want to enjoy it. So your feelings change, your perceptions change, your volitions change related to the same sound. Sometimes, therefore, you take the form is also differently. You see the ugly part of the same thing. You previously saw the beautiful part of the thing. So later time, you same year see the ugly part of the thing. But the same music you are listening, but you are taking in two parts. So the way of your ear working is changed. So that's why we have to understand these internal faculties also impermanent, change when the causes and conditions are changing. So that's you can reflect back your life and you can see many instances how you feel, how you felt, and how you react on objects, and why those different reactions arise. And then you can clearly understand the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body is not a permanent thing. It is change. In the same time, the external objects also changing. So this way, this nature, once you identify, so then you can see, you can't find out any permanent happiness from any of these external or internal objects, the internal faculties, because these are impermanent stuff. So can you find the permanent happiness through any of these things? No, because none of these things are permanent. So how can we expect a permanent happiness or contentment through these things? Can't get. So that's why Lord Buddha say, without having extinguished all these things, or all the experiences, suffering is always with you. So therefore you have to go to the total extinguishment. So extinguishment from all experiences, all forms, feelings, perceptions and volitions, and all consciousnesses. So until these things exist, you are bound to suffering sooner or later. So that's the nature. Because these are impermanent. So how do we claim these things as I, me, myself? If these forms, feelings, perceptions, and forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses are changing, how do we claim as my forms, my feelings, my perceptions? These are impermanent stuff. These are changing based on causes and conditions. When the causes and conditions are changing, these things are changing, not because you. It is a natural way of happening things, naturally how it flows in this world. So therefore, you can't claim as I, me, myself, any of these things. So that's why it is good to keep in mind this nature. So then you are not expecting things from yourself or others. Because expecting creates suffering. Because these things are impermanent stuff. So, okay.
Thank you, Bhante. I have another question. I do understand, maybe to some extent, what you said. But here, when I'm sitting here, I understand or have the intention to understand. But once I'm out of this room or this setting, it is difficult to remember all this. And it takes time to get hold of myself and remember how to have the right view in light of impermanence. How to have this thing remembered more often in the outside world, not, like getting out of sight of. Yeah. Thank you.
So it is good question. So I can just tell you that depends on I don't know what are your choices in your life in your young age or whatever age. So, for example, shall we see? So if you like to listen music, sometimes you want to keep in mind and sing when you are alone or when you're with your friend. You want to sing. So then what do? You learn by heart some words. No? Learn by heart. And then you sing according to the music. So then you train yourself by remembering all the time this one. Because if you don't recollect it, quickly forget. So you enjoy it by remembering again and again and singing within yourself, even in mind. You sing in your mind without even singing by your mouth. So, so you recollect this one and keep in mind. So then you enjoy it. So that is in the same way, when you have that right view, you have to recollect again and again, and keep holding on your mind, because you value it, you see the value of it, and you want to use it. So therefore, you have to recollect again and again and use it again and again. So that is the way Lord Buddha say how to practice this Dhamma. So you can chant saying this I is impermanent, sights are impermanent, ear is impermanent, the sounds are impermanent. This way you have to write down and learn by heart and start chanting. Whatever time you have, you can put a nice music on this one and chant and keep in mind. So this one recollect the reality all the time. So this is the way how people practice these things. So after some time, you no need to chant. You always have that understanding. So then and in the same time you train yourself to use it in your day-to-day life. When you are dealing with objects, you fall into a hatred, you fall into ill will and all these things, or sometimes a strong greed you fall in. So then this understanding come back, and then you say, oh, this is wrong, because falling into hatred, ill will, or falling into the strong craving or wanting is something foolish. You clearly understand. These are impermanent stuff. These are not under our control. So why should we worry about this? Then you start correcting things. Start correcting your mental actions. You start correcting your verbal actions, bodily actions. So then you cultivate the proper actions, correct actions, right actions. So this is the way how it come to practice. First you have to keep in mind, you have to find out a method to recollect all the time this one and use in your day-to-day life. Not only in your meditation practice. Meditation practice is very, very special time, but in your day-to-day life, you should use, because this is a universal truth. This is not a truth which only valid for certain period of time. No, this is always with you. This reality is always with you. But only thing, your mind is already conditioned to run based on delusion, not having this understanding base. So that's why our mind always works based on delusion. So we have to practice and strengthen the knowledge of this right view, and the right view and the practice of right view and the knowledge based on right view. You have to develop and use it in your day-to-day life. Then it will correct your mental actions, bodily actions, verbal actions. So it is gradually grow within yourself. Like you are training yourself how to swim, how to drive a car, how to sing, how to write the letters. So all these things we develop in the same way. No difference. So you should have an intention, and you have to keep in mind all the time. When you are writing letters as a small child, you always remind yourself and write all the characters. And then after some time, it is something normal to you, nothing special. You just think comes to you, you just write it. In the same way, when you practice the right view, it always with you. Then when you are dealing with objects, it just come to you. Before come the delusion. So then you see the delusion, how delusion associate with the past intentions. Because in front of some objects, your past intentions jump up. Then you have to correct it. But your right view also come and change the actions, change the way of dealing with things, change the reactions. So these things come to action step by step. But you have to put an effort at the beginning to put it in the practice, day-to-day life practice, from morning to evening, evening to morning. So you have to update and run with this one. After some time, it become the close friend of you. It is always with you. It is how it works. Okay, you got questions? Okay, good.
Thank you, Bhante. We do have 3 questions online.
Okay.
Good morning, Bhante. Could you expand on what guarding the sense faculties means?
Yes, it is a good question. Guarding sense faculties means, so when you know some objects when come through your eye, you know the lust or hatred arise. So it is a part of the system. So sometimes if you have the mindfulness, so then you can just abandon it. So guarding mindfulness is abandoning, not going to that kind of sites. So because some of these the things you see, if you go to some places, or when you are watching some videos or something like that. This kind of sights come to your eye. So it provoke your anger, greed or hatred or lust or whatever thing. So it is not helpful the stability of your mind. So it always the provoke your past intentions, and sometimes the past enjoyment or hatred or any emotions can provoke and jump up and obsess in your mind, and bodily reactions also may arise based on those things. So when you are knowing these things, you can develop the understanding, mindfulness, to abandon, not to go to those places, not to see the go to those sites, to having those sites. Just safeguard your eye. So then you are free from that kind of unskillful mental states or bodily states. You can abandon by cutting off from the beginning. So guarding your sense faculties. So the ear also the same. Some sounds come to your ear, your mind get upset and unhappy, or sometimes they fall into the greed and hatred, greed or something, the lust or something. So then you have to avoid that kind of sounds. So these things you have to identify and safeguard. Otherwise, you are always in trouble. So that's why when people ordain, they stay with monks. They don't go back to home, or to the lay peoples. They don't go and live with lay people. They live with monks, so they can easily guard their sense faculties without they falling into the unwholesome things. That's why when we are speaking with other people, we don't use the wrong speech. Wrong speech means the frivolous speech. So talking unnecessary subjects. So it creates the greed, hatred, delusion, all unnecessary things. So that's why you have to guard your senses. Otherwise, your mind get all these the inputs and create more problems, greed, hatred, delusion within yourself. So that's why it is an important thing to guard eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind without getting the unskillful things inside.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question. Maybe I'll read out these two questions because they come from the same audience. How can normal lay people attain the jhanas when they are too busy having to go through with all the challenges of family, work, pain, loss, etc.? Did the Buddha mean for only monks to attain nibbana, since they are the only ones who have the time and resources to fully practice jhana?
Yeah, these things actually, that depends on the persons and their past the karma. That means the past practices and developments. Because even we have seen sometimes even the people who are living in lay life. So if they have these previously cultivated minds, so they are actually not much involved in this the worldly activity. They do, sometimes they are married people, but they can quickly abandon their five sense world and go to the jhana realms. So they develop these things. Some people develop these things, but they are no more much enjoying as other people this five sense world, because most people are just indulge in this five sense world without without knowing much about the adverse the outcomes of these things. But the people who develop jhanas, sometimes they know something about, they develop that skills by abandoning the five sense world, because without abandoning five sense world you can't go to the jhana realms. But it is a temporary work, that is it is not permanently going, but for time periods they go to jhana level mind. So it is possible to cultivate that ability, but you have to train yourself to let go things. So train these important the factors you have to keep in mind, and perfect all those things, and abandon all the unwholesome verbal actions, bodily actions, and livelihood. These are gradually grow within yourself when you are practicing the right view. It is a natural consequence of how it works.
Are you ready for the next question, Bhante?
Yes. Yeah.
Bhante, I have the point of view that makes me see self-compassion as a selfish act. Because instead of thinking about welfare of others, I think about my own, and then I use it to break some precepts to do what I like. So it is difficult to understand about forgiveness and compassion for oneself. Could you please clarify this aspect?
Yeah, it is important, because if a person bearing the self view, I, me, myself, the wrong view, so when they develop the self compassion, it is really selfish. It creates more problems. When they develop the self compassion, if they have the I, me, myself view, the wrong view, so then there's a conflict arise when someone is harming you, or someone is making a pain to you. So then there's a conflict arise. Then they can't have the compassion to the other person, because you have to make compassion to yourself first, and then you have to fight with the other person. So it is not the case. So if you see the non-self nature of body and mind, so you see your body and mind and external bodies and minds are all same, run on the according to the same phenomena, or the way of happening things. So only the causes and conditions related to each and every moment is different to one to the other, but the way of happening things are same. So that's why the Dhamma is same, the meaning. So the way of happening things are same, but the causes and conditions for each and every person, each and every instance is not equal to each other. So when you keep that understanding, you are compassionate to yourself as others. You don't see the difference between you and other. So because sometimes when people have that personality view, so if they compassionate to themselves, they fall into hate to others. Once they compassionate to external world, they hate to themselves. They harm themselves. Both sides happen. So that is the important thing to keep in mind. Both sides happen. Sometimes they are really compassionate to other people. They're going to serve to the world. They destroy their life. They destroy their family, because they don't have the kindness to the people who are depending on them. They try to serve to that, they lose the balance, because the wrong view, personality view. So they try to become compassionate to the whole world, but they don't compassionate to themselves. Why? They think, I am the person who is compassionate to the world. No, I, me, myself is existing here. It is also a natural phenomena. These thoughts arise in your heart because conditioning come from the outside. So if you see that nature, how it happens within ourselves, you are compassionate to yourself and you compassionate to other people. It is totally come from a different root. So that's why there is a big difference. The personality-based compassion and the non-self-based compassion.
Do you have any more questions?
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante, for the answer. This question is totally off topic, but I can't stop myself from asking. This morning when previous night when we were reading some sutras, and there was mention of Devata.
Yeah.
So Devatas, Dakshas, and all other people or beings which are not human, I have hard time understanding their existence and their place in the whole existence for ourselves. Yeah, I don't know if it is a relevant question, but I guess yeah. Thank you.
So the yakshas and devatas, this go in your in way of English terms, the ghost realm, the spirits, the deities or whatever thing. So the spirits. So these things actually, as a human, unless otherwise you develop your mind to a different level, that means beyond this human realm, you can't directly understand by through your five senses. But your mind can understand these things. You know, so some people have that ability to see the energies or these living beings in different realms. So if you believe science or research work done by people, so you can read NDEs, near-death experiences. So then you can understand the people, how many living beings are living without seeing us, without we can't see them, but they are actually exist. So I will give you the small, in brief, what these doctors report in ND stories. So there are a lot of research work. You can read a lot of books available because the scientists. This is a fact according to the scientists who are, especially the cardiologists who work in the cardiology units in hospitals. So they see some people after recovering from the heart problems, that means they go to the unconscious and they fall into the near-death experiences. They go to the clinical death according to the medical science. They go to the clinical death, but the doctors resuscitate them and take them their life back. And after some time, they start breathing and the blood circulation start work, and they recover after some time. So they start speaking what they have experienced when they were having this clinical death. So the nice thing is they are living somewhere else and watching what doctors are doing. They give a clear, nice, the very precise the description, what doctor has done, what nurse has done, what the other people did, where his the possessions kept, and all these things they know. They know the other places, the next room, what has happened, the other room. They are watching from somewhere upper level, not in his body level. So he has a set of eyes and ears to hear what doctor is telling. Sometimes some of them have that ability to see what doctor is thinking. So some of them have that ability to tell the doctor, to give an input to his mind, doctor's mind. You have to check this place, not that place. you should do this thing. No, don't do that thing. So they can give the inputs to doctor's mind to do what to do and what not to do. So they exist in a different level. But doctors or the nurses or whatever person who is stayed with them has no understand. They haven't seen such a person is wandering on the air in above to the body. They haven't seen. But these are clear facts. So they clearly know this person exists somewhere there. And some of these people explain, your hospital operating theatre, there's an upper level, there is a one window So there are a lot of dust there. You have to clean. It is not good for the operating theatre. That kind of thing also. So even the doctor can't see that because that one is over 10 feet high. So he has to put a ladder and climb up and see. This person saw that one also. So it is impossible to the person on the bed can see all these things. His eyes is in the upwards. But this person is flying on somewhere up and see all these things. So then you can understand this. There's a different level of existence. But humans or the science can't explain what is that. But as a fact, it is true. Because this is not only one instance. There are a large number of instances they have recorded and keep with them. These things are proven. This is true. So different mind states they may have. So we can explain as the Deva or Yakka. So that depends on their behaviors.
No more questions?
Okay, now finish, no? Okay, now we can finish today Dhamma discussion, Dhamma talk. So I will pay respect to Buddha Dhamma Sangha and finish today Dhamma talk. Okay. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadem Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namah